And you know, the first question that I ask them most of the time is, hello, my name is Ghita, I'm a food engineer. Do you know what is a food engineer? And it's gonna be, you repair fridges? No, I don't repair fridges.
Welcome, we're here in the 5th edition of Make It in the Emirates, where we speak to founders and innovators who are part of the food cluster and who are bringing out today their innovations, their services, and their products to the 5th edition of Make It in the Emirates. Our guest today saw a main challenge within the youth and the knowledge gap when it comes to the food sector. She's a food engineer who decided to bridge this knowledge gap with her company, The Food Engineer, also part of the food cluster. We welcome you today, our guest, and we start with maybe the first and urgent question. What is the big alarm, the red alert, may I call it, that made you say there's a problem when it comes to the youth and what they're consuming, and I want to bridge that problem? What was the big alarm for you?
The big alarm from my side was really to realize, first of all, as a student, when I was studying food engineering, that we were six in the classroom.
Quite.
Six in the classroom. When you compare to chemical engineer or mechanical engineer, they were 200 compared to food engineering. So I already saw that it's not a sector that will attract youth, talent. And the six that were there, the six of us that were there, were really passionate about food since our young age, trying to understand where food comes from, etc., etc. And after my graduation, when I got exposed to the real world, I just realized that the food industry is completely invisible to the youth as a career choice. If you don't really feel it, and it's not a passion coming from you to take the lead and go and try to learn from these programs. It was very hard. So it was invisible to the community. And I found it shocking because as a human being, we put food in our mouth 3 times a day.
Sometimes 5.
Sometimes 5, exactly, you know? And
but what you're mentioning now is from the attracting talent side.
Yeah.
You mentioned something very interesting to me, especially with your work with youth, that a lot of times there's no awareness as to not just the youth, what we are actually putting in our bodies.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit more about this, specifically with the youth. Do they know what they're eating?
No, I will not say no at a large level, but we are not getting exposed at that sector at a young age. So no, kids, they are more exposed from the marketing perspective. They are going to eat what they see in what is trending, what is attracting them, without really learning how to read what is in the food label, or even know how to read the food label, the ingredients, how it's made, the factory where it's coming from. And the sector is really monopolized by few industries that will decide what they put, and not putting the health of our the health of the consumers as a priority.
So a lot will argue now that a lot of there's been quite positive changes in the past few years.
Yes.
When it comes to raising awareness. We're seeing now, especially in the UAE, also new policies regulating what goes into canteens, pushing only healthy food. So these are quite new and positive achievements. You are part of these achievements as well. Let's talk a little bit about your milestones as the food engineer since 2023. What would you say is your biggest milestone that you achieved as far as when it comes to awareness and the youth?
We were able to attract more than 10,000 students yearly since 2024. At our farm, so connecting them really with where the foods come from. They get they see how we grow vegetables in the UAE. They see what these plants needs to grow, how to take care about the animals. And you know, the first question that I ask them most of the time is, hello, my name is Ghita, I'm a food engineer. Do you know what is a food engineer? And you cannot imagine how this question, like I can have like 3 or 4 hands raised out of 80. And it's gonna be, you repair fridges? No, I don't repair fridges.
Yes.
So this is just
Although
to
that's
show you,
very
like,
useful.
yes, exactly. But it's just
Yeah.
they know what is a mechanical engineer. They know what is a chemical engineer. But a food engineer, no, they don't even know about this career. And there is a food engineer behind everything that we eat.
True.
I tell them, like, look in your lunchbox. You have a Kit Kat bar. There is a food engineer behind that. Look at your bottle of water. There is a food engineer who thought about the packaging, how it is shaped, the lid out of it. So then they realize that everything that they see, it's from a food engineer.
Yeah.
And they tell me, Miss Ghita, I want to be a food engineer later on. So this is one of my biggest milestones, really, to just be able to inspire them to choose this career path, because there is a lot of opportunities. And it will bring me to your first question, that we are always complaining about climate change, about sustainability. And we know that the global food system is the second biggest generator of carbon gas emission. If we want to act on this, we need people who understand the food system. So they can bring solutions. We need people who understand it to act on it. And this is really my biggest trigger.
Yeah.
I say that when they get exposed, when the next generation gets exposed at the early age to the food system, they will be able to be the change makers of tomorrow.
So I'm gonna get back a little bit into which schools you work with, what are the aids and the tracks that you work on.
Yes.
But before that, I want to talk about you as a business, as a SME in a quite challenging but also growing sector, the food sector. You're also you're part of the food cluster. Tell us, what has the food cluster been able to offer you as an SME? One, for growth; two, for exposure, market access, maybe funding. What are the things that you think you were able to achieve with the food cluster?
Yes. So thanks God, really, with the food cluster, first we are able to get the visibility we need as an SME, just so that people they know how to reach out to us when they need our expertise. They connect us with the schools, with the policies, which is really important when we need to develop a program. We need to check on the policy side. We need to connect with the government. So the food cluster was able to give us that first. We are able as well to get back to them when we need to make sure on the compliance on the compliance side, because one of the things that we are doing with the food engineer program is to get students develop some food products. And then, well, the next milestone. Can I talk about the next milestone?
Of course you can, Ghita. Imagine me telling you no.
Our next milestone is really the one that we are working on hand to hand with the UAE Food Cluster. It's with the Food Engineer program. We are developing each cohort of students will be developing a recipe, will be developing a food product. And this food product, of course, the food engineer will give them the framework to develop, let's say, a healthy snack bar.
Okay.
And this snack bar, when it's developed, we want it to go in the market. And this brand developed by the food engineer, we want it to be a student empowerment model, a brand that you will see in the market and that you will know that it was developed by students in the UAE, and a community-driven, a national brand. So in order to get this vision done, we need to work hand to hand with the UAE Food Cluster, and they are helping us from the policy side, they are helping us from the manufacturing side, from the market access side as well, on how to sell this product. So yes, these are the...
I mean, hearing you speak, the journey, the journey is so multi-layered, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, from conception to the idea to logistics to regulatory to
Yes.
marketing to
Yes.
the product itself. It's a long journey. It's complicated. I'd like us to address maybe future SMEs, maybe watching us now,
Yes.
someone thinking about this maybe in the early phases.
Yes.
How would you explain to them what a platform, one like the food cluster and Make It in the Emirates can offer them, and maybe a word of encouragement to enter this sector
Yes.
and the modern way of doing things now?
Yes. I would say number one, start by your customers. Start by your strategic marketing to the customer
Really?
to understand. Yes, because you know, in the UAE, the food market in the UAE is fragmented, and what I say by fragmented, there is no really monopoly from big companies. You need to understand to who you are developing this product. Yes, very diverse, and you need to understand to who you are selling. This is the first thing, because at the end you need to make sure that you have what your customer wants. So don't come with an idea that you think the market needs, because you have to go out there, talk to your customer, make sure that this is exactly that this product you will be able to sell it. Like even I always ask myself this question, you know, so that if I have 5 million dirham now and I want to develop a food product, I will be able to do it. I have the skills. I know how to develop this product. If I want to develop my ice cream, I have 5 million dirham, I develop this ice cream. Yes, I will be able to do it. But am I going to be able to sell it? This is another thing, you know? So the money, the funds are never a problem. The problem is always to find the right model that the market needs. Yes.
All right, maybe in less than 10 seconds, okay? What are you looking forward in the next 3 to 5 years for the growth of the Food Engineer here
Develop
in the
a
UAE?
student brand, food student brand. This is...
You know, I am going to place the challenge now for you. Next year, you and me on these same exact seats talking about a new student product that was made by the Food Engineer.
Amazing.
Well,
Thank
there
you
you
so
go.
much.
Very nice to meet you. CEO and founder of The Engineer, coming to you from the 5th edition of Make It in the Emirates. We're talking here with founders, with CEOs, with ideas, all connecting every single platform from Make It to the Emirates and the food sector. Thank you very much for watching.